Hello, Hello everyone, Good morning。然后呢，也是跟大家说一声早安哈。欢迎大家来到我们现在的线上分享。这个是我们的全球零废物日，It's an International Day of Zero Waste. So today our slogan is how to say is our trash, our responsibility. So throughout the whole sharing session will be conducted in English and also in Mandarin. Yeah. So the first two speaker that we have from Dr. Tengku Nur and also Ariel Lasimbang will be shared in English. And then later on, we have our CEO from Thai Technology, James Lee, will be sharing in Mandarin. All right. So stay tuned with us. And then for the Mandarin, for those who do not understand Mandarin, don't worry. We will have a short, how to say, wrap up after our CEO James Lee have shared his sharing. All right. Okay. So first of all, thank you for everyone for joining our event today. So today, at this moment, so we have our recycling center and also two companies are joining us as well. So our Tsuji Recycling Center, we have a Bemban, Ayekoro, Batu Berendam, and also Huai'en Memorial, where our volunteers are sharing on how to proper segregation and also to promote recycling. Yep. And then also we cannot, and then we are very thankful to have Ever Delicious and also Alpha joining us. So for our everyone who is on the camera, can we like wave our hand to say hi to everyone on YouTube Live? And look at the screen. All right. Yeah, maybe yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay. And also we have our how to say great volunteers also throughout yeah, throughout the whole point of event. So really thankful very thankful for everyone for joining our session. Right. So and short introduction on International Zero Waste Day. So this Zero Waste Day is being introduced by United Nations, the UN Habitat, and also UNEP. So this is the way that today we're going to celebrate and also advocate the best practices of consumer behavioral change, innovation and new technologies, sustainable urban planning, and also investment in green infrastructure. 那今天呢是全球零废物日哦。那今天这一天呢是联合国他们举办的这样子的一个的节日。那主要的呢是来推广，就是说民间我们身为消费者要如何来去改善我们消费的那一个的就是习惯，还有呢有新的科技来如何推动就是回收，还有就是零废物，还有呢就是那个永续的城市规划。最后的呢，就是投资在绿色的那一个的架构或者是建筑物上的，OK，就是为了要确保来减少那一个不必要的浪费。好，那那现在呢，我们首先呢，我们第一位讲师呢，我们就会那首先我们第一位讲师呢，就会邀请我们的Dr. 登姑Noor，那他呢是我们就是 Waste Management Association of Malaysia WMAM 的就是代表。那今天他会跟我们分享，就是说，诶，马来西亚到底就是现在发生了什么事情，对于这个废物的这个区块。So now we would like to invite Dr. Tengku Noor, a training committee from, and also the chair training committee from Waste Management Association of Malaysia, short form WMAM. So she is all the way in Saudi Arabia right now. So very grateful to have her in because the time difference is like 6 hours, 6 hours different. It's already it's 5 o'clock now. Okay, and then she will be sharing what's going on in Malaysia in terms of waste management. All right, so the floor I will pass it to you, uh, Dr. Noor.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So I will share my thank you for inviting us, with Management Association. So I will start my screen sharing now, and then I will start the presentation without further ado. So Mm. So this the screen is okay?
Yes,
No?
perfect.
Okay, all right. Hi everyone. You can call me Noor. I'm Dr. Tengku Noor. So basically, we are. I'm from Waste Management Association of Malaysia, and I'm the training committee chair. So that's why I'm here talking to everyone now. So in this presentation, we will just give like introduction, what is happening currently with our trash and what are our responsibilities. So we will cover like a global scope, and then we will go to the Malaysia scope. So basically, first of all, of course, we will tell you about our association, what we are doing, and how many of us. So we has been as this association has been established since 90 years ago, which is like 2005. So basically, we have like 272 local members. So we have individual member, we have corporate members. So basically, what we are doing is we try to do to collaborate among our industry player in term of waste manage in this waste management industry. So we aim to establish and maintain the contact between local and international organization and company as well. That's why we are also the national member of International Solid Waste Management, International Solid Waste Association. So we also have like international involvement in China, Macau, Hong Kong, Netherlands, Austria, and as well as India. And then for regional, of course, we work closely with our Singapore partner, Indonesia, Thailand, as well as Philippines. So we kind of like try to do a collaboration between regional as well as international. Okay, so I think that's about it. So now we can go to what about waste in Malaysia. So basically, um, everyone knows that most of our waste end up in a landfill currently, because in Malaysia we doesn't have like a high technology to separate our waste or maybe to incinerate our waste. So most of our waste will end up in landfill, which is 82.5%. And then if you can see from this percentage, in from this percentage, so you can see that most of our waste is actually food waste, which is 44.5%. So we Malaysian, we like to eat, and at the same time, of course, we kind of like waste our food waste as well. So that's why most of the waste that end up in a landfill is actually food waste. So as we can see, most of per day we will generate equivalent to 1.17 kilogram capita per day, which is like one person will generate around 1 kilogram of waste, which is, if we can see that it is actually a big amount, and then it will contribute to a lot of waste at the end. So basically, we need to try to reduce this number accordingly. So for a global, for food waste, you can see also food waste also like a global problem around the world. So for example, in China is estimated uh, um, the largest food waste contributor is actually, and then for as you can see here, we have also United Nations also approximate that one third of food waste produced globally will, for human consumption, meaning like the one that sell in the our supermarket, or maybe we cook and everything, it will lost. So it will generate about 1.3 billion tons. So this number is actually um alarming for us as well, because we generate food and then at the end we also waste them. So we need to reduce this number. So, and to do that, of course, we need to have a collective action as well as a bold ambition. So, as you can see, the statistic that we have here, 3 billion people around the world still bury, dump, or openly burn their waste. So, as you can see, some of the country around the world doesn't have a proper waste management. Like in Malaysia, of course, we have our landfill, but that is not like the proper way to dispose our waste. So we are trying to uh, improve the way we uh, dispose our waste at the end. And then, of course, at the same time, if we think about the plastic waste, because plastic waste is also kind of like alarming for us. So it will take investment of 1.2 trillion USD to end a plastic waste. And given this scenario, also plastic production will double, and plastic waste leakage also will go into the ocean. I believe everyone heard about, like how this microplastic end up in the ocean, and then it being eaten by our by fish, and then we eat the fish. So the cycle continues. So that's why this kind of a proper waste management is very important. So yes, okay. This is the target of Malaysia. So we are trying to accelerate the transition of circular economy. When we are saying a circular economy, meaning whatever we produce, we can try to retain it in the cycle, so that it will not just like when you use it and then you just throw it. So at least, like for example, for a plastic bottle, instead of just after you use, you drink the water from the plastic bottle, so you can throw it at the recycling center, and then it can be reused again. It can be recycled and reused. So this kind of cycle we call a circular economy. So in Malaysia, we are trying to achieve net zero by 2050. What we mean by net zero is actually, as I think most of us hear about GHG, or greenhouse gas emission. Greenhouse gas emission is the harmful gas that emit in our normal, like production, or maybe our normal life, that will harmful to the environment, that can increase the heat, which gradually will affect the global warming, and then it will harmful into our climate. It will contribute to our climate change. So Malaysia also trying to reduce those harmful emissions, because as you know, methane is one of the most harmful gas in this GHG, that can be that will be emit when you throw your waste at the landfill. So the degradation of the food waste will contribute to this methane. So that's why I would say earlier that we need to reduce like the waste of the disposal of this waste at the landfill, because landfill is not the best solution for us to manage the waste. So the so that's why Malaysia, we are targeting to try to reduce the UHD up to 45% in 2030, and then of course in 2022 we are in progress towards achieving the 45%. And then at the same time, also government target to have a green procurement, which is like the try to try to uh, uh, try to like um uh incorporate the green procurement in their supply chain. So let's say, instead of just uh um let's say, instead just try to use the single use plastic, we try to use like reusable cup at the canteen, for example. That kind of thing is what we call try to change our lifestyle into green lifestyle. So at the same time, we also try to reduce the HCFC consumption, up to 67% in 2025. And this is actually a work in progress. And at the same time, recycling rate of household waste in Malaysia is also targeted up to 40% by 2050. And now we are achieving 35.38%. So we need to uh, contribute into this action in order for us to achieve our target by 2050, which is 40%. So as we can see earlier, most of our waste end up at the landfill, which is like almost 80. 80%. So we try to reduce it, cut it by half, and then like recycle most of our waste in our supply chain. So okay, this is what we are. This is the actual how, as you can see on the left, this is what happening in our waste flow at the moment. So as you can see from your resident, for institution, or maybe commercial, you will consider as municipal solid waste. So and then it will divide it into two, which is like just discard it as a lump sum, and then some of the state in Malaysia do a separation at source. So basically, if you do separation at source, of course it's good because you try to make the waste pure at the end, and then but at the same time you can also try to separate what can be reused and what cannot be reused. So we will end up at the recycling industry. But if you want to go for, it will end up at the recycling industry as well as the landfill. So if you can compare between on the left and the right, so at the end on this part, which is what I say ideal, as I mentioned earlier, landfill is not like the ideal way of us to manage the our waste, because some of the waste that end up at the landfill is actually can be considered as the resource that can be reused, that can be turned into other materials. So in this ideal waste flow, we can see this is MRF, which is we call as a material recovery facility, where you can sort all your waste so that at least it can be purely sorted into like plastic, paper, glass, metal, which can be sent to the recycler, and then it can be used as the secondary material. So the material itself is just not end at the landfill. It have the second life. So we will try to retain it, as I say earlier, which is the concept of circular economy. And the unrecyclable waste, it can end up in the WTE, which is waste to energy, where we can like combust it, and then it will the heat will generate electric energy, and then from that we can generate electricity, or maybe we can use the heat for consumption of the plant itself. So the cycle of the material is not just end at the landfill, and then it can be reused as another energy source. But of course, at the end of, we still have some that left that cannot be reused and everything, then it will end up at the landfill and as a final disposal, or maybe just incinerator where we can just burn it, and then with the ash will end up at the landfill. So if you compare between the what's happening now and then what is the ideal, of course we have a long journey to go, because the infrastructure is not here in Malaysia. But of course, we as a Malaysian, we can try to help in terms of try to increase our recycling um, material at our own house. So we don't just lump sum everything, and then we can separate it at source, so that it will increase the value of the recyclable material. So this is a public common barrier in acting as in recycling. So people want to do it, but sometimes they don't have the knowledge. So that's why we do this zero waste day. So to increase the awareness in among us. So we will need to understand what can be recycled and what cannot, and how we can help to increase the value of the recyclable material. So convenience. Okay, the second one is convenience. Sometimes we as a human, of course, we just want something that is easy for us. Let's say the recycling center is far away. So instead of us try to go there, maybe we um just throw it in our dustbin. So that might not be the proper way to do it. And and the third one is actually the price. Of course, the average consumer prioritize saving money over the planet, because sometimes the material that is um, cannot be recyclable, or didn't mark as eco or come from nature might be cheaper compared to the other one that can be recycled or everything. So that is I wouldn't blame anyone on that, because sometimes we need to prioritize on saving money of a planet, but at the same time we also need to think about the in the long run, where this for example, for single-use plastic, of course it's cheap, but then if you buy a water bottle, it may cost you one time, but you can be it can be reused. So the return of investment is like a bit far, but it can save our planet. So maybe this kind of common barrier among us, we can try to reduce it. Okay. What we can do to demand recycling, and this is what I was saying about how to address this those barriers that I was talking about. Of course, the awareness is the main thing. So we need to set example. For example, for us, we need to set example to our young generation, and then the availability also. I believe a government also try to increase this, like for example for recycling facility, and then of course like your association what doing now, so we are trying to make it easy for everyone to participate in this recycling activities, for example. And then of course affordability, we need to support recyclers, so cost of the collection and processing will make the economic sense. Of course, if a lot of people do the recycling, the the economics of the economic sense of the activity will become more affordable for everyone. So if a joint effort from everyone, maybe in the future we can also make it affordable to everyone as well. Okay, this is the example of alliance to end plastic waste. This is like a global collaboration between among several industry big player in Malaysia, in uh, globally, for example like Shell, Bulb, or ExxonMobil. So they want to end the plastic waste. So basically when they are saying that they want to end the plastic waste, so maybe the solution that the solution model that they were thinking about is actually to make it economically viable, environmentally beneficial, as well as of course socially responsible. So everyone understand that okay, this plastic waste is harmful. So what can we do to reduce the plastic waste, or so where we should throw it, and instead of just throw it, we need to send it to recycler. So these are the solution, the the solution model that they were thinking about, is can make it sustainable in the long journey, not just like a simple one day solution, of course, but to gradually we will come to one stage where the solution for to end the plastic waste will become viable to everyone, not just like people with uh, um, money, for example. So everyone can contribute to end this plastic waste. Okay, the challenge of recycling. As I told earlier, that is the barrier that us as a consumer, but the main roadblock that avoid global recycling growth rate also, as we can see, of course, the feedstock availability. Sometimes we have the stagnant collection rate, because the contribution from the whole party is needed as well for this, and then macroeconomic regulation and collaboration. So when we are talking about macroeconomic, is like um, how valuable it is for us to switch from switch to virgin material, for example, and then the slowdown of the investment when we try to switch the material or try to adopt a new technology, for example, and then the regulation, of course, we in Malaysia also we need to increase this. I mean, like the awareness of regulation and then the collaboration between among all the industry player as well as the consumer. And then, okay, lastly, what can you do? We as a consumer, what can we do? The first thing that is most preferred is actually reduce our consumption. So instead of buying using a single-use plastic, maybe we can reduce it by bringing our own container. For example, if you go to Pasar Malam, for example, instead of just accept all those plastic bag, we bring our own plastic bag. So we reduce the non-essential product, the consumption of it. So we reduce see this kind of material that one time use can be reduced if we bring our own container. And then, of course, the second one is reuse. Reuse the material that we buy, for example. So for clothing, for example, instead of just like buy, we go into the fast fashion and then keep on buying like a new clothes every month. So maybe we think about it. Okay, if we buy this clothes, can we use it like at least 30 times? If it makes sense for you to use it for 30 times, so it um will become like worth your money as well, and you can also reuse your consumption in this. You can reuse your clothing, and then you can reduce your consumption as well. And then plastic bottle and jugs, of course, we can use this material all over again, instead of just like, for example, if you buy something like come in a jar, so the jar can be reused as other material in our other container in our kitchen, for example. So this kind of activity can reduce and can help our environment as well. So, and okay, the third thing is recycle and compost. This is what we can do to cater for the increase of our food waste in at the landfill. So instead of just throw it away, we can compost the material, and then from the compost you can use it as a soil conditioner for your plant, for your plant, so that at least your food waste is not just being thrown away at the landfill. So it processing waste to recover commercially as a valuable product as well. And okay, this is um, some of the statistic that we have, and then some of the example of how we can see how valuable if your materials, for example, this old newspaper, instead of you just throw it away, you can sell it to the recycler. This is just indication, and that is of course the price different between between days of in fact sometimes is, so this can be used as indication only. For example, newspaper, you can go up to 35 cent per kilogram. And then for cardboard, it's 25 cent per kilogram. So instead of you just throw this away, um, collect it at your house, and then at the end of the month, for example, you can just go to the recycle center, and you can get money out of it. And then of course, this is on your life. You can see how for you to manage your waste before you send it to the before you send it to the recycle center, so that it will help them to manage it properly as well, and then it will increase the value of your material as well. So that, for example, newspaper, you need to make sure that it's not like crumble with like oil or something like that. So it's like a nicely flattened. So for shipping box, you flatten it, and then for takeout, for example, you empty those container for ice cream carton, for the plastic ice cream carton. So you empty it before you clean it properly. For the water bottle, you dry the liquid out. So and then you can also separate the white and the colored pepper, because sometimes some of the recycle centers have different price for this. And then for the juice and milk carton, of course, you need to try to drain it, wash it a bit, and then dry the liquid in it. So as you can see, if you do all those things, at least it can help to for you to keep it properly at your house as well. Of course, if you keep your juice carton, for example, with all those liquid in it, you will attract cockroaches or ants. So at least on your side also, you will take care of your the cleanliness at your home, and then at the same time at the recycle center, you can increase the value of your material. And as you can see here, this is some of plastic resin identification code. This is uh, the type of plastic that can be recycled. And you can see here, this is all the recyclable item that actually we sometime with our knowledge we throw it away. So at least instead of throw everything away from our house, we think twice whether this material can be recycled, reused, or try to reduce our consumption in it. So I think that's it from us. Hopefully our sharing can help you increase the knowledge in like what you can do in your own house, and then how to manage your own waste. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Noor, for your sharing.
Yes.
Yes, thank you
I
so much.
will
Yeah, it comes back.
stop
Yeah,
sharing.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Noor. Okay. Yeah, so it
Mm-hmm.
comes back to the very important thing of segregation, just like our master teaching us that purify at its source. So it's better before we do recycling, we do it a proper segregation, then we can actually put a very good input to the circular economy to really help to create a sustainable environment. So I think the same thing that Alpha Group today has been doing. I think they have a very great segregation activity and also get to know what other thing can be recycled or not. And also the same for all the Tsuji volunteers today. We have recycling centers to encourage the community to do proper segregation.呀，那刚刚呢，就是很感恩哦，就是Dr. No 这里的分享。那回到来讲到跟我们正言上人呢教导我们呢，就是亲近在源头，在开始这里呢有很好的就是分类的话呢，那我们就可以做到更好的回收，然后就是制造更少的垃圾。好，所以可以看得到，就是说 WMM 这里所推动的呢，跟我们都一直在做的都很一致哦，就是回收，然后再利用。然后可以的话呢，做好的分类。All right. So now I will introduce our next speaker, Mr. Adrian. So Mr. Adrian, he's the co-founder of Tony Bong, and then he has been doing a very great job in empowering the indigenous people in Sabah. All right. So Adrian, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you very much for providing me the opportunity to share some of our work in Sabah, and also like to share about our initiative for reducing the uh, waste in the state. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Still sharing. Okay, thank you very much. I just want to focus on the circular economy model that we have been practicing the last about 10 years ago. One of it is actually the reason why is we have been promoting the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So we have been supporting our NGO basically, or have been supporting different organization in Kota Kinabalu, Sandakan, and Tawau. So our organization actually runs a center called Create Borneo. So it is a center for renewable energy and appropriate technologies. And one of the main work that we do is to promote renewable energy and other green technologies such as composting, bioenergy, and so on. But a lot of the work is also providing support for social enterprise and also NGOs who wants to do recycling, because I think recycling program is very good, especially with like what the Suchi organization is already doing, like in my town also. We have work on with some of those collection, but we also want to promote something about green technology. So that's why we want to provide the opportunity for rural communities to produce or generate their own electricity using renewable technologies such as micro hydro or solar power. Apart from that, we also provide trainings for our local organization, our youths, and also collaborating with different organization in terms of technology transfer. We also do a lot of community empowerment, basically to raise awareness about the environment and also the importance of renewable energy and how conservation of our forests is important to combat the climate change. But for this sharing, I would like to just share some of our work regarding the circular economy. So, as we know that circular economy is actually a very important model for us to basically reduce our consumption of our finite resources in this world. So that's why we try to look at how we can uh, provide or help the community to be self-sustaining. So we start with energy, because a lot of the consumption and pollution comes from the energy sector. So we try to ensure that the community can have access to clean and reliable and energy, but uh, also to make it affordable. So one of the things that we do is to look at how we can reduce the cost for building these mini grid systems. And one of the approach is to look at our waste. How can we use our waste to generate electricity? In many countries, we also look at biomass or biogas to provide for energy for cooking. But for electricity, it's quite limited. So we try to do some R&D on that. So I'll cover on that later on. For a typical setup for micro hydro that we do, we are actually combining environmental conservation through the watershed and also development of technology and also economic empowerment. So the micro hydro that we built basically to enhance or to provide a incentive for the community to protect the watershed, because it needs the watershed to continuously provide the water flow for the hydro to operate. So nowadays, it's so important when we see that the prolonged drought, then the conservation effort is really making a very good progress, because we can see that's an effect effect uh, with the health of the watershed. The second part is to also look at economic empowerment, how we can use this power to also provide community economic empowerment, like, for example, provide food processing and increase the value of the product. So we use solar dryers and the electricity provided to process this like ginger into ginger powder, making a lot of other product from herbs and so on. So these are some of the work that we do in terms of providing the circular economy in the community so that they can be self-sustaining. And a lot of the work is also looking at managing the waste, because circular economy concept means that as it goes around, the less waste goes out from the circle, the better our model is. So in order to do this, we also invest our time and resources to provide or introduce new technology. For example, like now we in digital load controllers and it's IoT or Internet of Things ready. It can be so that it can assist in terms of monitoring the system. We can have better diagnostics of our energy systems, and we can provide technical support from online system only. So we have built this mini hydro or mini grid systems in over 40 over remote communities in Sabah Sarawak, and we have used this model to actually sustain the system that we put in. So one of the things that also important to look at is to reduce waste in agriculture. Community work so hard to plant crops like pineapples, ginger, or even fruit trees, but it is seasonal. So the moment there is bumper season, there's a lot of waste. They cannot sell it to the local market because logistics and so on, and then the price really goes down during this time. So what we have tried to do is to also design machine or equipment that can help to add value to that product. So for example, like the introduction of a solar dryer or dehydrators can really help the community to add value to the product like ginger. So if you just sell it for in raw form, is maybe only 2 ringgit to 3 ringgit per kilo, but with dried ginger, and we also provide them now because they have electricity, they can run a blender, a pulverizer, they can make it into powder, and a kilo of ginger powder can fetch up to 200 to 300 ringgit per kilo for good quality ginger. We also look at how to recycle our glass. Glass is like the most difficult, or at least, I mean, a way to recycle, apart from reusing the bottles. But what we have found that the waste can also be turned into something useful. So at our center, we design and build this glass crushing machine for Carlsberg, Malaysia, because they want to make sure that the bottles doesn't end up in landfill. So we design and build this machine. You put it into the machine, it will turn it and pulverize it into glass. And the glass sand can be used for many things, for construction, for making ornamentals, where art stuff, but also can be used to be recycled. But at the moment, we have not come into a sort of volume that we can export this glass sand to be recycled into glass. And also, I mentioned earlier that we also wanted to find ways to reduce the cost to make our turbine. So what we have done is actually recycle aluminium and smelt it and make it into turbine cups. We also do it on plastics, and we have managed to do different types of turbine, and now we can see that it's cheaper and it's also reliable local technology. So these are the example of turbine that we have built, making by using HDPE type plastic. The extruder, we will build our own extruder and also the mold, and we can make it into a turbine runner. There's also an initiative that we did together with one company. in Sabah, in Kota Kinabalu, we have established this mobile recycling center. It is modeled based on the precious plastic, but based on the precious plastic, we just build our own machine, everything all built by us. And basically, the idea is to have community participation where they can come and sell their plastic waste. And we process it in the container, and we can come up with a lot of other, upcycled products. And these are something that we can sell, and we support other women's group that provide this, or who sells or produce this sort of artistic stuff. I call it. So these are the example of the machine that we have. This is the shredder. So once it's shredded into or segregated and shredded to different types and colors, we can make it into different types of plastic boards, in a round shape of rectangle shape, and we can make it into tables or chairs and whatever we imagination that we have. So we have a special program on this, but we don't run it ourselves. We collaborated with Happy Plastic Borneo. It's a startup started by a few individuals in Kota Kinabalu, and we supported them, and we are still supporting them in terms of R&D and or whatever machine that they need, from shredder to the plastic board making. So we design and build this machine for them. So our work also looking at this is important to build the resilience of community when it comes to climate change. So we try to make sure that we make sure all our project has actually um, uh, no fossil fuel. So we try to use gensets and so on. And yeah, one of the challenges to reach these remote communities is logistics. So the road in Sabah Sarawak is not uh, not that good, but we try to give them what. So to wrap up, I think it's important to for us to do this together. We can on partnership is very important in order for us to reach our target. So I end here. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Adrian, for your sharing. Yes, I think Adrian, we can also say you're a very innovator, hands-on innovator. Be very resourceful, thinking how can we recycle the waste that has been produced locally, and then to turn into something useful to the community. For example, generating, making the generator and also some table. It's only that our imagination that is limiting us. All right, thank you again. Yes. And then the next one, last but not least, our invite CEO from Thai Technology, James Lee, to share about the product from Thai Technology. How does it come? What's the story behind of having this Thai product? 那接下来呢，我们就邀请我们的鼎明师兄呢来为我们分享，就是说这大爱感恩科技里面背后的故事，因为大家会很觉得好奇，诶，一个宗教团体，一个大爱感恩科技是如何以什么样的法来生产这一个物品？好，我们把时间交给鼎明师兄，感恩。
好，感恩大家哈，今天不知道我的声音跟那个 PPT 档都有吗？
有，
有，好，谢谢哈。那非常感恩今天有这个机会，跟我们马来西亚马六甲的家人一起来分享哈。刚刚听到两位，都是在这个所谓的气候变迁节能减碳方面都是非常有深入研究，也非常的努力的在做哈。那大爱感恩科技啊，今天非常感恩有这个机会来跟各位分享。我今天的主题叫做永续哈 ，sustainability。那到底怎么样的永续？最重要要重新出发 ，start from our heart 啊，这个就如上人跟我们讲的 ，purify our heart 啊，我们是用这样子的一个方向啊。那我在大爱港科技今年到现在为止已经15年了哈。那现在常常在讲说那个叫做 social innovation 社会创新哦，其实大爱 technology 就是一个那个social innovation， 因为这家公司在台湾甚至在全世界应该是没有的哈。它是一个完全在做 eco products 环保的 social enterprise 啊。那我们今年已经成立了第15年，迈入第16年啊。那我们那在15年前有5位的实业家捐资成立这家公司，但是隔年我们就把所有的股份捐给慈济，所以这一家公司的股东只有一个，叫做财团法人中华民国佛教慈济慈善基金会啊。所以我们的努力我们都回馈给慈济。那为什么会成立这家公司？因为大家知道 NGO 组织一般是不能营运的，主要是靠 donation。那 donation 经济好 ，donation 的没有问题；经济不好 ，donation 的善款就变少。所以我们上人的几位的实业家弟子说，我们是不是能够帮助，能够为慈济的永续来贡献一点力量？所以在15年前，那我们就成立了，在上人的慈准之下成立这一家公司。那我们希望这一家公司能够 sustainable。我们如果能够 sustainable， 我们所有的努力就 return to our shareholder， 我们 shareholder 就是慈济，慈济就会把我们的爱发挥更大。那我现在放一小段的一个影片，最近我们跟上人的温馨座谈，上人给我们的一个开示哈。
除了这样摊啊以外啦，咱呢，那个别以外呢，看看大爱也有做鱼啊，也有多啊，也有好像几啊种，还有汤啊等等啦。所以期待讲哦，大家人爱有志一同，有志一同，好好的用心哦，要安怎来宣导咱的环保？期待咱大家人把佛法融入我们的科技佛法的分开的。不管是生理、心理、物理，在佛法里面呢，真的都有道理去该汇合起来。真的是咱爱好好来研究，也希望大家世间法啦，大家人真有心伫咧探讨，但是呢，哪会当汇合佛法，恁会感觉讲生命的价值，生命的价值。
好，那刚刚大家已经有听到上人给我们的开示啊。那这里面的重点呢，其实在最上面我们看到有个34、16、58这个 figure 的这一些的 secret 在哪里呢？就是说中间16就是大爱感恩科技，今年已经成立了16年，我们结合了在这个 platform 上面，我们结合了超过200家的合作伙伴，我们把两端最有价值，我们的原料端来自我们的环保菩萨，全台湾有8000个环保站，有将近10万个环保菩萨，他们每一个人的单纯的心念，爱护地球，我们希望他们回收的这一些的这个爱心，我们希望我们所做出来的产品能够把他们的爱心让人家能够感受到。那我们大家从环保菩萨跟我们的实业家，大家努力回馈给谁？回馈给我们股东，股东就慈济58年来为全世界有130几个国家，只要有灾难的地方就有我们的慈济，所以这个是我们大爱感恩科技最重要想要努力的一个方向。所以从刚刚上人所分享里面的重点，我跟各位来分享有几个。第一个，有为法跟无为法。什么叫有为法？有为法就是看得到、摸得到、感受得到的人事实地物。 无为法是什么？无为法就是上人跟我们讲的，我们的真如本性，我们的爱心、人性本善啊。然后我们就很希望借着有形的产品，能够启发我们每一个人的爱心，化小爱为大爱，这是第一个。第二个，上人希望我们佛法能够结合科技。怎么样把佛法跟我们的环保科技结合在一起？稍后我会举1-2个例子跟我们分享。第三个，三理四象，刚刚上人也有讲，真理、心理、物理在佛教里面都是有道理。那我们怎么样把佛教的这个精神，我们放在我们的产品里面？我接下来也是来跟各位分享。所以大爱感恩科技啊，有一个很重要，为慈济的永续为活泉，这个是什么？这个叫有为法。我们希望能够慈济要能够50年、500年，我们大爱感恩科技如果能够 sustainable， 我们就能够为慈济的永续贡献一点力量，同时为净化人心为使命，这个就无为法。慈济的永续为活泉，有为法，为净化人心为使命，这就是无为法。那我们从2008年开始，然后开始的几年，我们建制了我们一个非常完整的公司以后，2015年我们就开始每年我们都会有做一些依据当年的时事人事时地物，我们做了一些 special 的这个 innovation。举个例子讲，我们在2016年，我们研发的高力的那个压力的布，这个有弹性的压力布。我们为什么2016年我们会去研发这个？因为我们在2016年台湾发生了8仙尘爆 explosion， 所以大概有500那个 young staff 他们就受伤了，烧烫伤。所以上人不冷。这一些人烧烫伤复健的，所以希望我们在压力布上面能够研发出这个压力布有透气又舒服的，所以这个是我们的2016年。再来的话，我们2020年，我们因为有 COVID-19 的关系，所以我们研发的相关的 PPE 其中有一个大家知道防护衣防护衣那个在医院里面，他们现在都是那个抛弃式 disposal， 就是用完的立刻丢掉。那我们也很成功的研发出 P3 等级医疗的 P3 等级的可重复使用环保的那个防护衣那再来2022、2023，现在最头痛的就是我们的塑胶袋，那塑胶袋回收等等，这都是一个大家都是第一个，它也没有价格，但是呢，充斥的市场再多，不管在陆地或者是海上，所以刚刚上人有讲。大爱感恩科技做的很多的椅子、桌子，那一些都是塑胶袋回收做的。那我现在稍微我拿一下这个塑胶袋肤色的那个高脚椅，这个也是塑胶袋回收做的塑胶袋透明的是做出来本来是白色，但是因为它里面有看不到的杂质，所以我们回收再制，就是我刚刚大家看到的影片跟刚刚我拿的，这就是椅子。那最重要，我们不是在做椅子，我要让我们的环保菩萨在我们的塑胶袋回收的地方，看到他所做的每一件事情都是非常有意义的好，那有关于佛法怎么结合科技我来跟各位来分享一下。上人有一次他这样分享，他保特瓶本来是一个很有用的东西，但是我们把它喝完了丢掉了，就变浪费了，就变成那个 garbage， 变成地球的负担。就如我们的人我们的人本来就是人生出来人性本善，但是来到这个滚滚红尘我们就被无明烦恼所遮盖。所以上人希望说，我们是不是可以学习慈济的环保？我们把本来是地球负担的保特瓶，我们把它回收，大爱感恩科技把它回收、改质、再制，就如我身上所穿的，全部都是保特瓶，能够落实在日常生活里面。同样的也是一样。我们来到人世间有无明烦恼，我们加入慈济，我们化小爱为大爱，我们把我们的无明烦恼把它打开，然后就显出我们的真如本性。所以上人就把这2个故事回收跟我们的真如本性把它结合在一起，我实在非常的赞叹上人有这样子的高的睿智。刚刚有讲到一个叫做三理四象， 生理、心理、物理。那我在我们的环保里面呢，是什么？就展现出生命、物命跟慧命。你看一下我们左边，那生命、物命、慧命，我们这环保的产品，我们怎么样子来说明这个3理事项？你看看这一位加拿大的女众拿到这一条保特瓶回收做的毛毯，让她感受到什么？感受到生命无常。因为她在灾难来以前，她可能还是一个小康家庭，甚至一个老板，但是无情的这个灾难来的时候，她变成灾民，需要到我们的我们在发放的现场，所以让我们体现生命无常，我们就要把握我们在世的每一天，发挥我们的良能。第二个物命，让我们知道说保特瓶它不是一个垃圾，而是一个放错地方的资源。慈济的环保菩萨实业家把它回收好了，竟然能够做出非常有温暖，而且这一条毛毯里面充满了爱。所以最后慧命每一个人，像我们这环保菩萨为什么这么高兴在我们的环保站？因为他感受到他不是在捡垃圾，他是在爱护地球，他希望把这么好的行仪留给他的子孙啊。所以在一条毛毯里面，透过了实际的环保菩萨、实业家，包括我们赈灾，我们就可以把这一条的毛毯展现出无形的意义，无限的一个意义。那接下来我有一个产品这个是一个眼镜这个套镜这是防蓝光 anti glare 跟 anti blue lights 的那这个的眼镜边是我们的用保特瓶回收做的毛毯回收再做 recycle to recycle， 也就所谓的 cradle to cradle 的意义这样子。那这个眼镜在我们的门市有一个非常就是一个感动的故事，我跟各位来分享。我不知道我们的师兄姐有没有到我们的那个花莲的慈济医院那我们的花莲慈济医院的大爱门市它是在一个3叉路口那一边的话就是在医院有在批假，有在那个批假拿药的地方。另外一条通路的话3叉路，另外一条路的话就走到门诊。那另外一条路的话是有个指压就是按摩的意思。那我们的门市的同仁有一般我们中国人都认为说，哎呀，在3叉路口哎呀，这个是裸穷这个不太好。但是我们的门市的同仁他非常的高兴，因为为什么？他说活光普照，我每天都在我们门市里面，我都能够帮助别人。我说怎么讲呢？他说你看看。我们很多的父母亲，或阿公阿嬷，他的儿女或孙子带他来，当他的晚辈在结账拿药的时候，可能爸爸妈妈、阿公阿嬷坐在那里，没有人照顾，所以他可以去旁边去跟他招呼一下。第二个，很多的病人来到我们的医院，因为我们医院太大了，他不知道我们的科别门诊在哪里，他就可以跟他讲，你应该怎么走？就是我们有个指压，指压你们都知道，就是我们视障眼睛看不见的。那我们的门市的同仁就平常就有时候要排队吗？有时候拿钱就要来协助。那这里有一个故事就有一天这个视障那个 Brian 的这个师傅就是来跟我们的门市讲说，他要买一只这样子的一个套镜。我们的同仁就要讲说，你眼睛不是看不到吗？你为什么要买这只套镜呢？是不是我平常帮助你很多，所以你给我一个护持？结果你知道这位师傅视障的师傅讲的，我不是给你护持，他说我的眼睛虽然看不到，但是平常你看我的眼睛是看不出我看不到，所以我有时候拿着拐杖去坐车子很多人都误会说我假装眼睛看不见，所以希望是不是有一些那个老人的位置那个座位让我坐这样。假如我现在在路上，我戴上了这一只眼镜，拿着这个拐杖，人家就知道我是真正的是那个视障的，眼睛看不见的。从这里的话，我们又想到一个证严法师上人讲的一个故事，叫做盲人点灯。这个故事的简单的意思在讲说，有一天有一位视障的，他每天都要到山上跑去山上去听法。在白天走上山，到下山的时候到傍晚晚上的时候他就跟住持讲， 这个4月的住持讲说，你是不是可以给我一个灯笼？哎，这个住持就感觉很奇怪，你白天上来就不需要灯笼，那你晚上你为什么？而且你是视障，你为什么要灯笼呢？这位视障者就跟他讲，他白天啊，我从山下走到山上啊，因为都是白天，人家看得到我，所以人家不会撞到我。但是现在晚上我要回去了，我如果没有拿个灯笼，因为我看不到别人是不是对面是不是有来，所以我拿着灯笼，我提灯，最重要不是为了自己，我怕别人会去撞到我。所以从这一点就让大家能够了解，就是说这个故事就是说，我们要处处的，我们要化小爱为大爱。盲人点灯不是为了自己，而是为了别人哈。那我们最重要，上人跟我们讲，我们也要点亮我们自己的心灯。接下来我们在 COP24 的，我们有这样子的一个影片哈，跟一个非洲的一个代表啊，那我们来看一下这个影片。
Can show the demo. Dr. Lin, can you stand up? Whatever he wear, everything is plastic bottle. Plastic bottle suit, shirts, and shoes. Yes, 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 yes. Everything is plastic bottle. Okay? So this is the demo. This is the true sample. You can let the young generation
Juliet,
be aware.
you need to take doctor also in your country
Bring him
with the
back
costume.
to Africa.
Bring him back him.
It's amazing. It's amazing if we can produce clothes that we wear from recycled stuff. It's amazing. Then why not actually go deep into the recycling so that we can be able to recycle that?
我想这一个故事啊，最重要啊，常常有人来到台湾的慈济，然后看到了我们的环保菩萨分类的用心，再来看到大爱感恩科技，我们现在能够做出日常生活里面的产品超过1000样一样的东西，在各个门市。如果师兄姐有机会来，每一个产品后面都是有一个故事在里面的啊。所以很多人看到这么好，哇，他们常常跟我们讲。他说：“我们的政府啊，我们都有奖励啊，尤其做这种所谓 greenfield 的这样子的一个，是不是可以把 copy 所有的我们的整个的整个的一个绿色供应链，所有的 know-how 我们把它 copy 到我们的国家，我们政府可以免费提供，而且可能有优待等等的。我常常听到这个样子。”那我们为什么慈济在 COP24 里面，常常在气候变迁里面，我们最重要，我们不是在展现我们慈济环保跟大爱感恩科技是能够做出什么样子的一些的东西，最重要在佛教里面有一句话，有果必有因，因果因果。我们今天看到了刚刚我们在那国里面的林副院、大林慈院、林副院全身做出来，跟大爱感恩科技做出来这一些的产品，这个是果，因是什么？就是有这么多的有爱心的人，环保菩萨、实业家，所以我们需要你 copy 到你的国家去，不是把大爱感恩科技的这一系列所有的产品这一些，把它 copy 到那个地方去，然后去那边做生意。我们是希望你们把这一群慈济已经有环保30几年来跟实业家这一份的爱，在正言法师的鼓励之下，这个爱 copy 到你的国家，你就可以启发更多人的爱，然后这些人搞不好做出来的会比大爱感恩科技、比慈济更好。所以最重要还是那一份爱，回归到最后就是上人所讲的，要净化人心。你只要内心净化了，当然你所有的事情都可以迎刃而解。最后我跟各位来讲，上人这几年常常跟我们讲，我们希望学习萤火虫的微观，盘点生命的价值。跟宇宙来比，我们的人事实上是非常的小，但是我们学习萤火虫，它的生命非常的短，但是在一片的那个树林里面，它就能够照亮整个那个树林。所以嘛，人生啊，上人也跟我们讲，4日已过，命运随减。我们在人生里面短短的里面，我们除了留下很好的行仪，我们应该要发挥我们学习萤火虫微光的精神，盘点我们每一个人生命的价值。我相信只要我们愿意做， 明天的世界会更好。今天非常感恩有这样子的一个机会，跟我们马六甲家人及其他的组织的朋友，谢谢大家，祝福家家户户平安吉祥，谢谢大家。
好，感恩鼎明师兄的分享。Now I will summarize it, some of the key points that has been delivered by CEO James Lee. Yeah, so when we talk about technology in Tzu Chi, we combine Buddhism with technology. So for example, like our useful PET bottles is actually at first it's a very useful item, but because the way we use it, in the end it become a garbage, it start to pollute the environment. So it's same of we as human being in this life. So actually everyone's heart has a pure hearted side where we do good deeds. But however, because of affliction, maybe some of the desire that we have, in the end, we are causing the pollution. So it really does reflect us to be more mindful whenever we consume our daily life, and also when we buy our items. And also from technology, we cultivate our wisdom as well. So in Tzu Chi Recycling Center, we can see our elderly volunteers who dedicated their life, to do segregation, to do recycling. For who? Not for them. It's actually for our future generation. Right. Once again, thank you so much for CEO James Lee for your sharing. All right. Okay. So hold on, maybe I have stop sharing this screen. Okay. So in the end, to wrap up for our whole sharing session, if everyone still remember, is our trash, our responsibility. So everything is not from ourselves to really reduce the trash for our environment, for our future generation. So, and then if you yourself have not been practicing 5R, upcycling, and also smart consuming, so we would like to encourage everyone to join us to do the same thing. But if you have been practicing already, so don't give up. We still a lot of work need to be done. For example, like 5R upcycling and also smart consuming. Yeah, we do not limited you yourself to do it alone. We need to encourage more people to do the same thing as well. 那这样子的话呢，我们今天的分享会的总结呢，真的从回收分类，还有就是环保教育呢，减少废物呢，真的要从我们自己开始，然后更用心在利用每一个物品的时候呢，要多思考说这个物品到底造成的污染有几多。如果今天你还没加入这个行列，比如我们的5R，或者是回收利用，或者是明智的消费者的话呢，来，请加入我们的团队。那如果今天你已经在这个行列呢，不要停留在自己而已，也要利益他人，把这样子的一个的好资讯、好分享呢，来就是分享给你身边的朋友，还有是家人知道。好。So last but not least, I would like to thank you all our partners who are joined online, either through Zoom here or maybe through YouTube. Now, especially from our partner from RSV, Alpha Technology, Ever Delicious. Also, last but not least, all our recycling volunteers who are at our recycling station today, to encourage more community to recycle and then to do proper segregation. All the action that you have done contribute a little bit to making a zero waste a better day and also an international movement. Right, thank you so much. 那最后呢，我还是要感谢就是我们的合作伙伴们，有我们 RSV、Alpha Technology，还有就是 Ever Delicious，还有更少不了就是我们的环保志工菩萨们，一同呢就是付出自己的一点点那个力量呢，为这个零废物呢更能够更早达成。然后刚刚有讲到嘛，2050年呢，我们希望就是48%的那一个的就是回收物，就是我们的废物能够被回收，所以我们一个人 都少不了哈。好，那在此就是谢谢线上的参与线上的就是家人朋友们。All right, so thank you everyone for joining our session. So this end of our sharing. Right, thank you everyone. So see you all next time. And then please follow us Malacca page for more information and then to join our movement to make the world a better day. All right, thank you so much. All right, so maybe we can stop highlighting me. We will how to say show everyone here on the screen now. So everyone, let's wave. 来，我们跟线上的观众挥手，感恩大家。All right, see you all. Bye bye. Bye. Thank you so much. See you.
OK，好了，完了，感恩大家哦。好，你们俩谢谢我。
感恩大家，
感恩。OK，拜拜。谢谢。